Check. Check 1, check 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Check 1, check 2. We are live. We're live. We're live. We're live, I think. I think we're live. We're live. Hey, how you doing? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. La 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 la. Good morning, everybody. Sorry about the complication on the first try at the stream. How you doing? How are you? How are you? How are you? I hope everybody joins me. Had a little bit of a glitch setting this up, but we're here. We're here. Maybe it's. I was talking for a few minutes about Hamas and the war that we have right now. Going on, and it seems like none of it got reported, so we'll start over. So Marcus County reporting on looks like all-out war in Israel, and you might say to yourself, well, who's the cause of this war? Who started the war? War. Nobody wants war. Nobody wants war, but we have a war, and it's a real conflict. So if you're just coming off of the weekend and you don't know what we're talking about, Israel has been attacked by Hamas, the neighboring Hamas. The Palestinian people in Gaza, also in the West Bank, attacked a music festival, the Nova Music Festival. Young people gathering in Israel, and all of a sudden there's bombs and rockets raining down on them, bullets flying, people dying. It looks like thank you, Weevil Girl. Yes, you can hear me now. I'm having a problem with technology, and I think I have to replace something. I don't know what it is, but I sweat every time before I turn the stream on. But I got it up and running now. So this conflict over there in Israel is bad. It's not a fair fight. Israel is a superpower. They have F-15 fighter jets and nuclear weapons and ways to eviscerate their enemy, any size. Palestine, the Palestinian people are throwing rocks and whatever bombs they can at Israel. Right. Now, why? Why are they doing it? Right? Well, Israel feels, the people of Israel, at least the Jews that landed there in the 1940s and the 1950s after the war. Remember in the war, remember World War II? Israel was historically promised to the Jew. Right? And a Jew could now have a promised land to go home to in Israel. Now, this type of talk is just theoretical and analytical and philosophical. It's not political at all. I'm just, revamping the facts. And I say that because if you should put any shiny light whatsoever on one side, then the other side will call you a communist, a fucking terrorist, and everything else. We're just looking at the facts. We're going to play through all the videos, all the spin today, and try to find out what's going on. But the reality is, you have to place yourself in the position of Hamas, where the Palestinian people have been there for thousands of years, not just in the West Bank and not just in Gaza, but all over Israel. And now they're kind of confined to the West Bank, which really isn't theirs anymore anyway. There's so much infiltration in the West Bank that it doesn't even matter. But Gaza is sort of a holdout. It sits on the Mediterranean Sea, and it's been, viscerally attacked and suppressed and occupied for, almost 75 years. So you have to ask yourself the question, if all of your relatives and grandparents and great-grandparents and their parents and great-grandparents were all from Israel and they were Palestinian, and suddenly there's some kind of geopolitical activity in Europe, bombings and fighting and world wars happening, and suddenly there's this occupation of your property, what would you do? Well, you would, I guess, defend your homeland, if you will. So there is that. Now, if you're the occupier or the person that came second, remember the Palestinian people came first; they were there first. If you're the Israelis and you came second, and you were there, and you're in a bad neighborhood and people don't like you, and they start throwing bombs at you, and because you're 10 times their might, and you start wiping them out, are you justified? Who should the United States side with? Should the United States side with Hamas or Israel? Who should you side with? Who should you... Well, I guess we should feel sympathy for both. But in the final analysis, one of them is... I want to say one of them is more correct than the other, but I don't know about that. But we'll look at that. And again, this is educational, philosophical. It's not politically motivated live stream. We're just trying to talk about the cause and effect. But there is all-out war right now. It was a music festival that was attacked by Hamas. Upwards of 1,000 people already dead, confirmed dead. People, dodging bullets, and horrific video and stuff coming out of Israel right now. So we'll look at that fascinating story. This is not a fair fight, by the way. If you think this is just a regular war, you would be wrong. Look, it's like the Mike Tyson, it's like the big, fat, stupid, guy who thinks he can box, right? And Mike Tyson's 225 pounds. And this guy's like 400. He says, hey, I got 175 pounds on Iron Mike. Put me in the ring with him and I'll kick his ass, right? And you get in the ring with Mike Tyson. And I don't know, 15, 20 seconds later, you're laying on your back, looking up if you're still conscious, wondering how the fuck you got punched in the face so easily. So that's what it is. It's not a fair fight. There's no way that Palestine could, with their 1,000 warriors, fight off a nuclear power, because in the final analysis, Israel will use a bomb. Look, Gaza sits on the ocean, sits on the Mediterranean Sea. If Israel blew up Gaza, right? Here's the map. Right? You see up here in the map how Gaza Strip sits on the Mediterranean Sea. If Israel blew it up without disturbing anything around it, the ocean. You remember in the Superman where they wanted to blow up California and bring the coastline all the way to Nevada? Remember that? If they did that here, if Israel blew up Palestine, got rid of it, and they would have like a giant fucking waterway that would come into Israel. I mean, that's potentially what could happen. Potentially what could happen here. Marcus Conte reporting on himself. Look at Marcus Conte with his new teeth. Hey, how you doing, man? How are you? I got new teeth. Man, loving it. I'm loving life, man. I got my new teeth, and I'm learning how to speak with new teeth. And, Weevil Girl says it's genocide of the Palestinians. Yeah, it was. It was genocide of the Jews who got kicked out of Europe. It was all genocide. It's all hate. It's all creepy, get out of my property shit, right? And, we're either the oppressor or the oppressed. And the oppressor always thinks they're right. The oppressed always thinks they're right. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, causes and conditions allowed Palestine to become what it is. It's just like a bad example would be cows for slaughter. You know, they're standing in line. They trusted a human, and suddenly they got fucking pushed into the slaughterhouse. And so I don't know, man. I don't know. It's definitely genocide, no doubt. It's definitely slaughter. And so there's my thumbnail today. Looks like happy Palestinians riding the wave of might. Again, Hamas is the duly elected government of Palestine, right? Hamas, when you hear Hamas, it's not a terrorist group. It's an elected, it's the party of the state. And you could blame the United States for that, for promoting free and fair elections. And they did that, and guess who won in Gaza? Hamas. So Hamas leading the charge here against Israel. Get out of my property. They feel like they're deeply, deeply oppressed, deeply confined. They feel like their properties have been taken away from them. And now we have one of the most, vile, aggressive acts of violence against Israel in a lot of years. And we'll see what happens, So Marcus Conte is my website. Every morning at 9 a.m., Monday through Thursday, we are live. Technology given or allowed. Yeah, I got to fix this stuff. It's very. I apologize. It's very unprofessional when the stream goes down and I can't get it to. I can't get it kicking, right? So. But anyway, every morning, 9 a.m., Monday through Thursday, we're live. Come on down, enjoy. You can watch the reruns across Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Facebook, Twitter, Getter, Truth Social, wherever else you are. And we're live. As I said, we're live. These are real people. What's left of them that didn't get kicked out of the other stream or lost in the other stream. Live people, thank you, Weevil Girl, on the wrench. Real Life is here, Vandaloo, Cheeseburger, Sedento, and everybody else who's lurking and watching later on. So again, it was a music festival, Nova Music Rock Festival, and there were a lot of rock bands ready to rumble. Over there in Israel, and what you talk about cowardice, right? They didn't even like bomb a fucking military complex. They bombed a music festival with a bunch of young people, hippies, young kids, right? Kids, and they killed fucking teenagers, right? They killed fucking 250 teenagers, right? Really bad, really ugly. They were playing trance music. That's why it was trance music. It was trance music that caused the ruckus. Hold on a second. Time to smoke. I don't think there's anything left in there. So trance music was the cause, I think, of this ruckus, and. So here's let's look at the spin now. Let's look at the spin, AP reporting. Israel declares war, bombards Gaza, and battles to dislodge Hamas fighters after surprise attack. It's quite a surprise. I would agree. How did Hamas pull it off? How did they organize something so big? Right under Israel's nose, right? Isn't Israel surveilling Gaza and keeping their eye on it? How did 1,000 fighters converge and kill 1,100 people, with bullets? Right? How did they get to do it? So, Israel government formally declared war and gave the green light for significant military steps to retaliate against Hamas for its surprise attack as the military labored in Monday to crush fighters still in southern towns and intensified its bombardment of Gaza. Total past 1,100 dead, thousands wounded on both sides. That number right there, that is the opening bell. 1,100 dead. You know how many people Israel is going to fucking kill? You know how many people are going to die after this? All right, then they're going to probably turn to Iran. They're saying Iran supported Palestine, and we got to get them too. All right? Chain reaction. Start a war. You can start a world war like that. More than 40 hours after Hamas launched its unprecedented attack out of Gaza, Israel forces were still battling with militants holed up in several locations. At least 700 people have reportedly been killed in Israel, a staggering toll on a scale the country has not experienced in decades, and more than 400 have been killed in Gaza. So there's a lot of people. There are hostages, not just Israeli hostages, but foreign hostages. Probably a couple of Americans in there, a couple of Jews from Brooklyn. Hasid, I can't. This is my land. How dare these dirty Arabs take what is rightfully mine, that I took from them? Habib, they've blown up. You know, there's a lot of animosity in Israel over the Jews, the fucking Zionists taking over Israel. I imagine there's different opinions in Israel, but the big gripe is the property grab that's going on. So you got all these Hasidic Jews there, and I would imagine some of them got hostaged, taken. Right? So Hamas is calling for the release of their political prisoners, which is, I guess that's the deal, right? That's the deal. Is Israel willing to wheel and deal with Hamas? Probably not. I think they're just going to, continue to level them. Israel said it brought in specific forces to try to wrestle control of 4 Israeli sites. All right, so there's war fucking breaking out. I want to click to the markets quickly to see what's going on over here. It looks like how do the markets deal with war? Well, it looks like the Dow is dealing with it fine, only down 10 points. S&P 500 down 14, NASDAQ down 127. My concern, look at this. You see, you want to talk about justice, how this shit works? Look at this. On the declaration of war, right? Now this is Marcus Kennedy reporting on the declaration of war, Israel and Palestine, right? Look at Lockheed Martin, a military-industrial complex stock. Now, you can't make this up. It's not by accident that this happens. Lockheed Martin, a purveyor of guns and bombs and fucking suppliers of war, is up $33 a share right now, up $8.39, 8%. Right? Right? Can't make it up. Lockheed Martin, Raytheon also up 5%, and Boeing up a percentage point, right? All of your military-industrial complex stocks are up. Big business. Look at this. Look at this. Look at Lockheed Martin. Look at the fucking run, right? This morning. Ding. We got war. We were struggling a little bit, but now we've got war. And war is money. It went from $400 to $434 just this morning. So that's gonna keep going up. Right? Can't make it up, right? Is there a connection? Is there a direct correlation between the military-industrial complex, stock market, and war? Here it is. There's your evidence. I just gave it to you. The holy vaccine stocks are suffering right now because nobody wants it anymore. Johnson & Johnson flat, Moderna down. Johnson & Johnson, Moderna. What's the other one? Pfizer down as well, up 10 cents. So it's good to be in war right now. Good. Let's follow the war stocks. Lockheed Martin up $31 on the news that they are going to flatten fucking Palestine. Israel is. So we'll keep an eye on that. What do we got here? I read that already. So let's listen to some spin. Spin at CBS. Spin it.
CBS News special report. I'm Jerika Duncan in New York. The rapidly intensifying war between Israel and Palestinian militants roared into a second day today, with the Israeli Security Cabinet formally declaring war. The death toll is now more than 1,000, with thousands more injured on both sides. Tonight, Israeli soldiers are still battling Hamas fighters near Israel's southern border after Saturday's surprise attack from Gaza. Israeli officials say dozens of Israelis and several Americans have been kidnapped and held hostage.
Kidnapping and hostages. Ooh. This is going to be ugly. This is going to get ugly. We haven't seen... How's Joe Biden going to deal with hostages in Israel? Israeli hostages, American hostages. How the fuck is Joe Biden going to go on the world stage and negotiate with Israel and, at some point have to give a little to Hamas? That's not what Joe Biden does. Joe Biden is a fucking idiot. And Joe Biden will support Netanyahu in slaughtering the Palestinian people. That's what's going to happen. That's why Lockheed Martin is racing right now. Joe Biden's getting calls right now. Oh, Mr. President, we've got to fight we've got to supply Israel. Israel's calling us. They need more of those bombs, the bombs that blow people up. And we're gonna send it over. So this is the play right now, right? Everybody, Joe Biden is surrounded by military-industrial complex pigs right now, telling him that war is good, right? War is good. We got to do it, right? Everybody makes money on war. Israel will flourish. Fuck the Palestinian people. It's got to be a sacrifice, right? So.
A senior Hamas official claims the total is more than 100. CBS's Holly Williams.
Oh, this is, by the way, if you're watching this is communist talk, right? This is what gets labeled as any support, any open view of what's happening is considered communism. I've heard, anti-Semitism, anti-Jew. Not what it is at all. Not what it is. This is called philosophical educational exploration of the facts. And let's see if CBS and the rest of them can do it.
Is in Israel.
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says his country is now engaged in a, quote, long and difficult war. Hamas gunmen broke through the barrier that Israel uses to contain Palestinians in Gaza. The militants, designated as terrorists by the US, fired waves of rockets into Israel and arrived by sea and even in paragliders. It was
It's fucking scary, right? It's scary. You're at a music festival and you become the object of war.
Assault. Civilians were slaughtered in the towns of southern Israel. And
what a fucking tragedy, what a fucking tragedy, right? Now, my heart goes out to the people that got slaughtered innocently. The people at the rock concert are not politically motivated people. They're at a rock fucking concert, listening to music, dancing to trance. I don't know if it was a rock concert or trance, but if it was trance, then they deserved it. If they were dancing to rock, then it's bad.
Who took hostages, including women, children, and the elderly. Israel's responded by targeting the Gaza Strip with hundreds of airstrikes. But the question...
Hundreds of airstrikes. You know how many people die in these strikes? Right? They're smart bombs, right? They're blowing fucking buildings up. Israel is blowing fucking Gaza to pieces. Right? As we speak, boom, down comes a building. Boom, down comes a building. How many people were in that building? I don't know, but we told them to get out before we blew it up. Right?
Is how Israeli intelligence failed to detect the planning for such a massive attack. Jerika.
Thank you, Holly. The Pentagon has ordered U.S. warships and forces closer to Israel with the threat of a wider war looming. A major question ahead.
So the United States is on fucking the ground there, probably in the Mediterranean Sea with a warship ready to shoot at anybody who comes near Israel. Now, there's always been the argument that if Israel was left without American support, without support of the West, that Israel will fail to exist probably in about a month. I I don't know if that's really true. I think this: if the United States doesn't support Israel fully, and Iran decides to assist the Palestinians in fucking with Israel will, and then Jordan, there's all the surrounding countries around Israel will slaughter Israel. Right? But in that process, Israel's going to blow up a lot of people. Israel's going to go down blowing people up. They're not just going to bow out. But the United States backing Israel, it tends to balance it out a little bit because you can't win that fight. You can't win that fight. The United States is too much of a military might to Israel. Iran blows up Israel, and the United States blows up Iran. See the chain reaction there?
Will Israel launch a ground offensive into Gaza? Continuing coverage on CBS News streaming and your late...
What else we got?
Intensifying conflict between Israel and Palestinian militants roared into a second day Sunday. The new fears the surprise attack could spark an even wider Middle East war. Today, the Pentagon ordered U.S. warships and forces in the region to move closer to Israel, including the aircraft carrier Gerald R. Ford, currently deployed in the Mediterranean. Israeli soldiers today battled Hamas militants at the country's southern border. Hundreds have been killed on both sides, the U.S. saying some may be Americans. They include at least 260 Israelis attending a music festival near the border. Hamas claims to hold more than 100 people hostage. Israel has responded with fury.
100 people hostages, Hamas is claiming. Right. In Iran, you remember it was the 444 hostages. Now we've got the magic number is 100. 100 hostages being held by the Palestinian people somewhere in Gaza. Are those 100 going to get out? Is the West willing and Israel willing to negotiate for those 100? Or are those 100 sacrificial lambs?
In Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says his country is now engaged in a, quote, long and difficult war. Hamas gunmen smashed their way through the barrier that Israel uses to contain Palestinians in Gaza. The militants, designated as terrorists by the US, fired waves of rockets into Israel and arrived by sea and even in paragliders.
It was a well thought out attack, no doubt about it. Hamas, well planned, well executed so far.
It was a complex and coordinated attack. What followed was a bloodletting. This Israeli soldier was apparently lynched on camera. Civilians were slaughtered on the highways and in the towns of southern Israel. In Sderot, around 2 miles from the border with the Gaza Strip, Hamas gunmen...
This is what war looks like. This is what war looks like.
...overran the police station, killing dozens. It's now a charred ruin. Minutes after we arrived today, we heard gunfire and an Israeli SWAT team moved in.
So the police told us to get down.
Later, the police told us there was no militant and an Israeli citizen had accidentally been shot and injured. Their nervousness isn't surprising. Hamas also took hostages, including women, children and the elderly. They paraded some of them through the streets of Gaza. Israel says...
I mean, your heart goes out. Your heart bleeds for the people that got caught in this ruckus, right? This is what politics looks like. This is what support of Israel looks like. This is what happens. This is what happens when you intervene in someone else's country. This is what happens when big nations intervene in foreign affairs, right? And try to manipulate them to agree with them, right?
Among them are US citizens. Dikla Arava was taken captive along with her family. The militants live streamed it on social media.
What do you want Israel's government to do to try and bring your sister and her children and her husband home?
Everything they can do. What happened today has never been seen in Israel, said Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. We will take mighty...
This guy is bloodthirsty. Netanyahu is a warmonger, right? He's ready. He's on the phone with Biden. Lockheed Martin stock is up. We need more bombs. We got to fight these motherfuckers. We got to wipe them out. And Joe Biden is like, senile as he is. He's like, okay, Netan. Okay, I'm with you.
We will take mighty vengeance. To accomplish that, Israel's pummeling the Gaza Strip with hundreds of airstrikes.
Hundreds of airstrikes. Spin it, ABC.
Thanks to the massacre at that music festival. More than 260 bodies recovered from the scene. We're hearing from witnesses. Ian Pannell is on the scene in Sderot, Israel. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, George. We're actually only a couple of miles away.
Look at our new journalists. Our journalists have helmets, bulletproof vests. Right? They're not fucking around, right? They come in and report, right? Report on how Israel is winning.
Away from the Gaza border. And when that infiltration, that large-scale attack happened, Hamas militants came right into the center of this town. We saw wild videos of them opening fire on civilians. Dozens were killed. And this was the police station that was overrun by militants.
They'll shoot you too, reporter. They will shoot you too. Just get out of the way.
The scene of a pitched battle.
All right, don't cry if you catch a bullet.
Many people died. But as you say, the single worst incident of this entire attack was at a party just a few miles away.
Mm-hmm.
This morning, a music festival in Israel packed with hundreds of young people, ending in carnage. Early Saturday morning, Hamas rockets streaking overhead as people celebrated and danced.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, panic spreading as Hamas gunmen close in. Festival goers seen in videos circulating online, running for their lives, desperately fleeing for safety.
Wow.
All the people who got away.
It really is like a Burning Man event. They were out in the desert, right? They were out in the desert enjoying some music, and cowardly, Hamas picked them as the target. Right? Is there any fair? Ask yourself this: in war, is any target fair? Are children and women and innocent, teenagers dancing at a rock concert fair game? Fair? To them it is, right? To them it was because of the atrocities that they see against their people.
Fast were shot in their...
Violence always begets violence. That's inescapable. But I don't know, when you corner a dog, right? If a dog is afraid for its life, or any animal, any large animal, right? If you corner it, it will attack you. Right? It will attack you, and because it fears for its life, and that's what's going on in Palestine. They fear for their lives, and they're fighting back, right?
In their car.
Noam Mankat survived the attack by sprinting through an open field.
So you just keep running, because you realize that if you don't keep running, then you don't go back home.
With rockets exploding overhead, Noam running for miles without food or water. She still doesn't know whether some of her closest friends made it out alive. Tom and his girlfriend Mai describing the chaos and gunfire as they tried to escape.
Bullets is over your head. You hear the shot like. You hear the...
How many people can say they heard bullets flying over their head, man? These guys are getting shot at.
The shots, you get down and keep running.
More than 260 people were slaughtered by Hamas. Video posted online showing what is now a terrible crime scene. But this morning, many are still missing, including John Polin's son, Hirsch.
He sent 2 brief WhatsApp messages to my wife and me. The first message said, "I love you." The second message said, "I'm sorry." Since then, we've heard nothing from him.
They're dead, right? How's Lockheed Martin doing, right? How's Lockheed Martin? Let's find out, right? Everybody's dead, but Lockheed Martin is up $31 a share, up 8% this morning. Congratulations to market players. You got your war right. You got it, and you are fucking gold right now, right? You're gold.
Family of Edan Dor are in agonizing limbo, awaiting any news about their 25-year-old son.
We're all here. No one can sleep. We have no information.
If you don't hear from them, they're gone. They're either dead or they're starving. They're starved to death in the desert, or they're prisoners, right? Right? Hamas is taking prisoners, if you haven't heard. They're taking prisoners. They're shooting some and taking others.
About Idan, nothing.
Idan first escaped the gunfire.
All right, so there's that. That's ABC showing the agony of the Israeli people. What else?
We begin tonight with the Middle East in flames. Israel has formally declared war after that unprecedented
Formal declaration of war. That's significant. Israel, formal declaration of war. They'll now win international support for that war. Their properties were their properties. Their alleged properties were infiltrated. Their peoples were killed, and now it's war.
multi-pronged terror attack from Hamas, shocking the nation, catching its intelligence service by surprise. The death toll is mounting, and at least 100 taken hostage. Several Americans are now confirmed to be among the dead. And a warning: the details and images.
Mrs. Trex says, the great secret show. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We are secret, not by choice. We're secret because that's how we're treated.
Are disturbing. Starting at dawn yesterday, Hamas lobbed thousands of rockets from Gaza toward Israel. Armed militants breaching border crossings, gunning down soldiers and civilians. Neighborhoods in flames. Homes and cars destroyed. More than 700 killed in Israel. More than 260, mostly young people, killed at a music festival. A couple at that festival among the hostages.
Man, that's the ticket you didn't want to buy to that music festival. If you're sitting home in Israel right now and you didn't have the $100 to go to the music festival and hang out in the desert with your pals and eat mushrooms, you're a lucky guy. You're lucky. Right? You're lucky if you missed that one. If you missed I missed my ride to the music festival and I'm still alive. Right?
Woman taken away on a motorcycle. Her boyfriend marched away by two men. Israel retaliating with airstrikes on Gaza. More than 400 dead in the territory. Prime Minister.
This is what Israel wants. They want to continue to blow Gaza up, crumble it. Right? It's already in ruins, but they're going to continue. Any of the, just flatten it and start over, right? Israel has a lot of money. Flatten Gaza and build more settlements and get the Jew in there.
Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu warns there is a long and difficult war ahead. The Pentagon now sending an aircraft carrier.
I haven't heard anything about two-party solution lately. Two-party solution. Give Israel give Palestinian people their rights. Well, didn't we try that? Didn't we try to hold free and fair elections? And what happened? Hamas gets elected. Israel vows to eviscerate Hamas and Palestine, right? So there.
Carrier strike group to the region, part of President Biden's promise of rock-solid and unwavering support. We have team coverage tonight from the war zone to Washington. ABC's chief foreign correspondent Ian Pannell leads us off from Israel.
Tonight, fire and fury in Gaza City, lighting up the night sky, relentless explosions, and panic in the streets as Israel fights back. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declaring, we're embarking on a long and difficult war that was forced upon us.
Netanyahu says, long war that was forced upon us. He had nothing to do with it. Netanyahu and Ariel Sharon, the prime minister prior to that, or a couple of prime ministers prior to that, we had nothing to do with it. Nothing.
It erupted just after dawn Saturday. Air raid sirens sounding across Israel, heralding a massive barrage of Hamas rockets.
Walking Axel says, because the Ukraine narrative is falling apart. Yeah, that's true, right? We need a new war. This is the new war. Congratulations. We've got the new war. I mean, I can't tell you. I can't express it or show it enough. But you can see the direct correlation, direct evidence in the stock market, direct evidence of profiteering on war. It's right here. It's right here. Here's your military industrial complex stocks that I cover on a daily basis, waiting for their war, all up, all up. Raytheon up 4%, Boeing down a little. Boeing, you gotta build better bombs, man. You got to build bombs that the Israelis need and will pay for, but Lockheed Martin definitely got a foot in the door on that one, and causing Well, the markets, our markets are not up, but certain parts of our markets are up. Military-industrial complex stocks roaring right now, roaring up.
Than 2,200. A complex and highly coordinated attack was underway, taking Israel completely by surprise, coming by air, by sea, and by land. Hamas video showing armed militants rushing towards the border, breaching Israeli defenses. Militants shooting indiscriminately, leaving bodies in the streets, some people even shot in their cars.
This is what war looks like. This is what it looks like. This is what war looks like. People get shot and killed and blown up over politics, right? This is what happens.
And in a rural area near the border, thousands of young Israelis celebrating at a music festival. Look closely. Those lights streaking across the sky, Hamas rockets. The party descending into sheer panic. Hundreds under assault from fighters on the ground.
You know what, though? A lot of those are a lot of young people. I was just thinking, man, if you're in good shape, like, right, you have to be a good runner, right? I'd fucking run, man. That's what I would do. I would be like, bye. I'd grab maybe a bottle of water. If I couldn't, just keep running, right? Run 5 miles, right? 5 miles and run in the direction of no people, right? Just run into the abyss and sit down and wait for the fucking bullets to stop flying. Wait for Israel to get there and stop the killing.
And tonight, the Israeli Rescue Service reporting that more than 260 bodies were recovered at the scene. Elsewhere, militants kidnapping civilians and taking them back across the border into Gaza. Harrowing scenes, hostages hurrying down a road. This woman...
Where'd they get the golf carts?
Forced into a car. An elderly woman.
There'll be a conspiracy now. Trump provided the fucking Palestinians with golf carts, but it's Trump's fault.
In a golf cart. One father spotting his children huddling in this video as they too are driven away. And tonight, the fighting along the border still raging. Israel trying to root out the remaining militants.
I don't know if you just heard that. That's the sound of a mortar coming in from Gaza. This is being fired by Hamas militants while Israelis are trying to deal with Hamas, not just across in Gaza, but also here, still inside Israel, where they're trying to clear villages where the militants are holding on.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken saying more than 1,000 Hamas fighters were involved in this complex operation.
1,000 troops, thousands.
It's already left more than 700 Israelis dead. It was an unprecedented attack. The United States now trying to clarify reports that Americans are among those killed and taken hostage.
Right there. ABC reporting Americans have been killed and have been taken hostage. Right? American hostages in Palestine right now negotiating with Israel, who has vowed to slaughter fucking Gaza. How do you negotiate with that? How do you do it? Israel, the hostages work against Palestine, in my view, because the United States has to intervene. And they're going to do it bloodily. They're not going to do it nicely. They're not going to do it nicely.
Hospitals here overwhelmed.
We have just now had a direct hit from a missile in the hospital. We are just now trying to evaluate the damages.
Thousands are injured and thousands more today lining up for hours to donate blood. Israel in a state of shock and disbelief. In Ashkelon, Avavit Avran in tears as she looks out at the rubble in her home. It's not normal to raise children this way, she says. The Israeli military now calling up its reserves and soldiers evacuating families from towns that border Gaza.
All right. Whoa. Look at this chick. She got fucking... Shit blew up behind her. Watch this.
Israeli missiles now raining down on Gaza. Al Jazeera.
It's real, man. It's real. Al Jazeera.
English reporter Yusma Al-Sayed live on the air when one missile attacked.
They're just killing everybody. They're just blowing they're blowing up anything with antennas, anything that can communicate. They're not fucking around, man. They're going to level it.
Gaza, Israeli rockets toppling buildings like dominoes. This mosque in ruins, a mass of mangled metal. They made elderly people, children and women scared, this man says.
All right, so you want to say 1,000 people are dead so far, 700 people are dead? That's not the number. The number, I would say Israel has already killed 20,000, maybe 25,000 people in Palestine. There's not a lot of them either. There's only like 4 million. They're killing people. They're going to just keep crushing people over this. Right? 200 here. Yeah. Hamas got 1,000, but we're going to get 20,000 overnight. Watch.
Copies of the Quran were shattered. The mosque was completely destroyed. Why? And tonight in Gaza, the death toll mounting too. More than 430 dead, and their hospitals at breaking point.
Mm-hmm. Hospitals there clearly overwhelmed. In panel.
Yep. What else? Rockets overhead. Here's some of the rocket Sky News reporting news. They're launching. What's interesting is they're launching the rocket attacks right from the middle of the city in Gaza. There's no military installation or base. They just pick a spot and they start shooting rockets, which is, I don't know, in one part cowardice because you're using civilians as a shield. But this is what it looks like. This is what Hamas is doing. See, boom, bang. It's just, you got to put yourself in the position. You're living over here in this window, and next door is a fucking bomb blowing up. Boom. And where do you go? Where are you going to run? Where are you going? Your house just got blown up. Your house is in rubble. Now what? I'll go stay with my Aunt Tilly. And you go over there, and her house is gone, blown up, and she's dead. Right? Do you think these people that Israel is killing are ever going to forget? Right? Do you think that the people that Hamas killed are, the families of those people are ever going to forget the killing? No. Do you think that the people that, the 9/11 families in America will ever forget what, bin Laden and his crowd did? They'll never forget, right? It's bloodthirst, thirst for blood. Let's listen to this guy.
General Amir Avivi, he's also the founder of the Israel Defense and Security Forum. General, welcome.
Thank you.
Why do you believe this vicious attack happened this weekend, and describe the mission now?
So, yesterday at 6:30 in the morning, Hamas launched a huge attack on Israel, which included thousands of rockets and raiding 22 Israeli towns along the Gaza.
All right, so that's a Israeli fucking general telling you. Who cares? We already know, right? So anyway, thank you for joining me. Sorry for the glitch earlier. I think we did it, and I'll try to be more. I'll try to be more tech savvy, right? And I'm really enjoying my teeth, by the way. I got to give myself another hand. Look at this fucking teeth. I got teeth now, right? I got most of them. I'm working on it. I'm working on my speech. It's like the old days. I have teeth again. Marcus Conte's got teeth. All right. Hold on one second. And I'm back. I'm sorry about that. I had to take that phone call. All right. So anyway, thank you very much, and we'll kill it, man. We'll kill it right here. Play you some Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,